charismatic, highly skilled at his job. He believes in order. He believes in what we're doing. But at the same time, he's slightly egotistical, and that gets the best of him. And through his disobedience, he is sent to Camp Nathaniel to embark on a secret mission with his new boss and Captain Leo, played by the fantastic Anthony Mackie. And the movie follows the two of them in a deadly militarized zone trying to locate a doomsday device.
I think the movie says that artificial intelligence is still human. Artificial intelligence, you know, they feel, they grow, they learn, they nurture. You know, if you look at, you know, Leo, you would never know if he was a robot if he didn't take his shirt off. He's a very humanoid example of what a robot could be, but he knows his limitations emotionally when it comes to being a human. But at the same time, he plays the role really well. A lot of times as human beings, we cut ourselves short of the humanity that we're faced with every day for protection. But Leo being a robot, he doesn't have to do that. He can literally, you know, be 100% exposed and not be emotionally hurt. Leo chooses Harp basically because Harp has the ability to think outside the box. If you get the normal soldier in a normal way, he's going to think like a soldier. But Harp has the ability to think outside of, you know, him being a specially trained, created soldier, and Harp basically just being a kid who has no idea what's going on at any point in time. You know, you get to see that father-son, that training day relationship between the two of them with this seasoned veteran and this fresh out the water rookie.
At the start of the movie, Harp definitely trusts and respects Leo. He's been told by Colonel Eckhart, played by the fantastic Michael Kelly, that Leo isn't like them. He doesn't know what that means. He means maybe it's just because Leo is more focused on the mission, or he might be cold. He has no idea what Leo is. And when he finds out what Leo is, he's constantly 10 steps behind him and constantly doubting some of the steps and some of the decisions that Leo's making. So that by the end of the movie, he no longer trusts Leo. He no longer respects him. Leo then becomes an adversary and a mission that Harp now has to overcome. I think Harp is the audience's point of view. And as the audience is 10 steps behind at the start of the movie, we're catching up until he finally becomes the hero. I think the audience become the hero. The audience root for Harp. At the start, they see him as egotistical. He's maybe overly ambitious. But through the end, we see that he's full of purpose, full of heart, and that's something to marvel at.
The advancement of the military in this movie shows that the military has gone to a more robotic warfare. So they've developed these robots called Gumps, and the Gumps are the first line of defense. So in order to lose less soldiers, you send the Gumps in first, and the soldiers come in and sweep after them. So because of that, they're very expensive, but it cuts down your casualties and with man lives lost.
Will we see Gumps and AI and Leos in the future? I hope we don't. But when you look at the way technology is moving, it definitely can be a possibility. And that's why movies such as Outside the Wire are so brave and so important, because they show a near reality that could be possible. And it forces us as humans to make an early decision whether we want to go in that direction or not. Outside the Wire shows you what that leads to. So hopefully it's a lesson in educating us to make the right decision. I think Harp learns that the future direction that the military's heading in isn't as clear as he thought it would be. He's learning that casualties and the way they're dealt with are bad. He's learning that his job as a drone pilot needs to be assessed. He's learning how to be more ethical and less cold from Leo, which is a beautiful thing because it takes an AI to teach a human being how to be human. I think that's the biggest statement of the movie. So I think that's the greatest thing that Harp is learning from Leo, how to be more human.
I did, 2.5 months of just physical training and some Krav Maga and some jujitsu stuff, just because I knew that, when I read the script and talking to Mikhail so much, there was so much of the physical stuff he wanted to do practically. And then we get on set and my stuntman flies over a table on the first day and gets concussed. So they're like, all right, you have to do all your stunts because we don't have another stuntman and no one is available. So it definitely changed the game of what we were doing after the first day. The action is really kick-ass. We had a great stunt team, and a lot of the stuff we're doing is, hand-to-hand combat, but also a lot of advanced weaponry tech work. Because so many of the things in this movie are futuristic and made up and, things that we created just for the movie, there's a certain vocabulary that we had to create to go along with that. How do you use these big guns? How do these Gumps move? How do these Gumps attack? Because if you look at it, they're two separate Gumps. There's the older Gumps that get down on all fours and kind of become like target weapons. But then there are the Gumps who are actual soldiers who walk around like soldiers and in soldier form. But then you have the sticky bombs that if you throw it, it's a magnet, so it'll stick to a Gump from however far away and blow up the Gump. So there's so many different aspects of it, so many things that we had to create, a different vocabulary we had to create military-wise. Even just, our wardrobe. Like we couldn't use practical military wardrobe, so we had to come up with a different color scheme and pattern that would, fit into the idea of a futuristic military. So it's a lot of advanced weaponry and hand-to-hand combat that we utilize to make it look like it's a different time. I think people who see this movie are going to love it because how unique the story is and how much fun Mikhail made this movie out to be. This could have been a very drab, boring movie, but Mikhail really infused his sense of humor and the lightness into it to where even though we're fighting and blowing stuff up, there's still laughs in the movie. So it's a really great time to where you can sit with whoever you're with and enjoy the movie because it's such a unique story, but told in a fun way.